Hello, hello, third grade. It's Miss Moore. So today I'm coming to you with a math lesson about telling time. I love being able to tell time because I know when it's time to go to lunch. I know when it's time to go to recess. I know when it's time to go to bed or when I only have 1 hour left before bedtime. So it's really important that you learn how to tell time because it will help you navigate through your day. So let's get started. Here I have a picture of a clock, okay? On the clock, if you notice, there are 12 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 is always at the top, okay? Now, in red, I have labeled the different parts of the clock. I hope you can see it on this video. So the long hand, we call this the long hand because it's longer than the other one. There's a long hand and then there's a short hand. So the long hand is the minute hand. It's the hand that tells you what minute it is on the clock. Then we have the short hand. The short hand tells you the hour. So I can look at the shorthand and know what hour it is, and I can look at the longhand and know what minute it is. The other numbers are still very important. Each number represents what minute it is. And each time that the longhand moves to a new number, that means 5 more minutes. So raise your hand if you know how to count by fives. I do. Let's count by fives together because in order to tell my time, it's really helpful to count by fives. So we're going to count by fives all the way to 60. Ready? And go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Good job. Now we're going to do it one more time, but this time we're going to look at our clock as we count by fives because each number represents 5 more minutes. So when I point to the 1, that's 5 minutes. When I point to the 2, that's 10 minutes. When I point to the 3, that's 15 minutes. And I keep going around to each number for my next 5 minutes. I'm going to do it one time with you, and then I'm going to be quiet and let you do it. Ready? And go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Your turn. I'm going to be quiet, and I want you to count by fives as I touch each number. And go. 60. Good job. It's really important that you remember to count by fives when you're telling the minutes on the time because in between each number is 5 minutes, okay? So looking at this clock right here, I know my shorthand or my hour hand is pointing to the 4, and my minute hand is pointing to the 12. Every time that the long hand, the minute hand, is pointing to the 12, then that means it's full clock. There's no minutes. We're at 0 minutes. It hasn't started to the 1 minute or the 2 minute yet. We're still at 0 minutes right here. So what time is it on this clock? Well, my hour hand is pointing to the 4, and I know that my minute hand is pointing to the 12, so it would be 4 o'clock. See how there's no minutes here? If I move this minute hand over to the 1, then it would be 4:05 because that would be 5 minutes. If I move this minute hand over to the 2, but my hour hand stays the same, then it would be 4:10. 4:10 because 5, 10 minutes. Okay? Here's some really important things to remember, and then we're going to practice on some clocks. First thing that's important to remember, 60 minutes. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. That means that if my minute hand goes all the way around back up to the 12, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. If it goes around one time, then that's 1 hour. And 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Really important to remember. The next thing that's important to remember is that 24 hours equals 1 day. So that means that if my minute hand goes around 24 times, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, all the way to 24, then that has been 1 whole day. In 1 whole day, we wake up in the morning, we eat breakfast, we go to school, we eat lunch, we come home from school, we do our homework, we watch TV, we go to bed, and that's 1 whole day. And that's kind of a long time if you think about it. That's a lot of stuff to do in 1 day. But the clock, the minute hand, goes around 24 times because 1 hour is 1 time, but 24 hours equals 1 day. So 24 times around the clock, 24 hours in 1 day. 2 important numbers, 60 minutes equals 1 hour, 24 hours equals 1 day. And I put one more thing on here, something that I think you already know, but there are 7 days in 1 week. 7 days in 1 week. We already know that though. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Those 7 days in 1 week. Let's try these clocks with me. All right, let's look at this one. So my shorthand, is that the hour hand or the minute hand, the shorthand? You're right. If you look up here, the shorthand is the hour hand. Good job. So my hour hand is pointing to the 2. So I know that it's going to be 2. I'm going to put my 2 here. Now I have to look at my minute hand to see what time it is. My minute hand is the longer hand. Now it's not pointing to the 12, so I don't say 2 o'clock because that was not correct. I know that my minute hand is pointing to the 6. So I have to count by 5s to see what number the 6 is. So let's do it together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Good job. So this time is 2:30. Notice how there's 2 dots in the middle? This is how you write your time. You have to put those 2 dots in the middle because that separates the hour from the minutes. Okay? Let's try this one. All right, where's my shorthand? There it is. My shorthand is pointing to the 7. Now, is my shorthand the hour or the minute? That's right, it's the hour. Remember up here, the shorthand is the hour hand. So I always look at that hand first. My hour hand is pointing to the 7. So I'm going to write 7 in front. There's my 2 dots to separate my hour and my minute. Now I need to find out what the minute hand says. My long hand is pointing to the 3. It's not 7:03. Remember, I have to count by 5s. Do it with me. 5, 10, 15. So the time is 7:15. Good job. All right, one more. All right, so let's look at my shorthand. My shorthand is pointing to the 11. So I know that that's my hour hand. My hour hand tells me that it's 11. Put that in the front. Now look at my middle hand. Look at my long hand, my minute hand. It's pointing to the 12. So that means that it's going to be like this one here. So I'm going to say 11 o'clock. There's no minutes here, so I would write 0, 0, 11 o'clock. That's right. Whenever the minute hand points to the 12, it is 11 o'clock. All right, we're going to do something else in just a minute. Okay, guys, now we get to do something fun. We're going to work with a real clock. This is a pretty big clock, so hopefully you'll be able to see the clock, and we're going to try to tell some time using this clock. Now, if you notice, I have the short hand, which is my hour hand, and the long hand, which is my minute hand, okay? Also, this clock is really cool because it tells you the numbers that each number stands for. So when we count by fives, it's right there for you. So it says 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So that's really cool. That can help us out a lot. All right, now I hope you can see it really well. I know there's kind of some light shining on it, but that's okay. We'll try our best. All right, so I'm gonna move the minute hand to the 3. The hour hand is pointing at the 12, and the minute hand is pointing at the 3. So if I'm gonna write my time, I'm going to say 12, and then what's my minute? 5, 10, 15. So my time is 12:15. Good job. Let's try another one. We're going to keep the hour hand on the 12, and let's move this to the 8. Oh. Now if you notice, the minute hand is moving closer to the 1. That's because it's getting closer to 1 o'clock. It's not 1 o'clock yet, but it's almost there. It's still 12 o'clock because it has not hit the 1 yet. It's still 12 o'clock. It has not touched that 1 yet. So we would say 12 is my hour, but now I've got to figure out what my minute is at the 8. Well, let's count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Good job. So we would say 12:40. It is 12:40. Good job. All right, let's try another time. Okay, here's my hour hand. My hour hand is in between the 2 and the 3. Well, I know it can't be 3 o'clock yet because it has not touched the 3 yet. So it has to still be 2 o'clock. So I know my hour is 2. And now my minute hand is pointing to the 5. So I've got to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So the time is 2:25. Good job. Okay, I'm going to give you 3 chances to try this by yourself. I'm going to put a time on this clock, and then you figure out what the time is, and then I will tell you if you're correct. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm going to give you just a minute to figure it out. Here's the hour hand. Here's the minute hand. Okay, let's see if you got it. So I know my hour hand is pointing at the 4, so I would say 4. And then my minute hand is pointing at the 2, so I would count over 5, 10. So my time is 4:10. Did you get that right? 4:10? Good job. If you didn't, that's okay. Let's try again. Here's another one. Okay, my hour hand is pointing to the 6. It has not touched the 7 yet, so it can't be 7. It's touching the 6, and my minute hand is touching the 5. I'll give you a minute to figure it out. Okay, so my minute hand is touching the 6, so I would say 6. And then I'm sorry, I said it wrong. My hour hand is touching the 6, so I would start with 6. Then I would look at my minute hand. My minute hand is touching the 5, so I'm going to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I'm going to say 6:25. Good job. All right, let's try another one. Oh, look at that. Now my minute hand is touching the 12. Do you remember what we said when we said the minute hand touches the 12? Well, my hour hand is touching the 7 and my minute hand is touching the 12. What time is it? Did you say 7 o'clock? If you did, you got it right. Good job. All right, I'm going to give you an extra credit. You know, I always like to challenge you. So let's try this one. This one's going to be a little bit harder. Okay, now look where my minute hand is. It is between the 4 and the 5. It's not pointing right at the 4 and it's not pointing right at the 5. My hour hand is definitely pointing at the 7. So I know my hour, wait a minute. Ooh, about to lose my clock. I know that my hour hand is definitely 7 o'clock. But my minute hand is in between a 4 and a 5. So I know that my 4 stands for 20 minutes and my 5 stands for 25 minutes. So my number is going to be somewhere between 20 and 25. So I'm going to say 7 o'clock, 7. But then what minute do you think it is? I'm going to give you a second. You can count the little lines in between 20, 21, 22. What did you get? According to what I see that this is on the 23. 20, 21, 22, 23. It's touching the line that says 23. So my time is 7:23. It's almost 7:25. In 2 more minutes, it'll be 7:25. Okay, guys, you did a great job today learning about clocks. Now, I want you to go back to the paper where you found the link to this video and try to answer the problems with clocks. We'll have 5 or 6 questions to answer and make sure that you turn your work back into me when you're finished. Bye-bye.